support, and it was an easy sell for him. He built the first eye center over just below Huntsman, and I think we had 90,000 square feet, and we outgrew that space quite rapidly, so we needed more space, and then we ended up building the facility that we have now, which is about 215,000 square feet. And if you've seen it, we have one tower that is a research tower, nothing but research going on in that tower. The other tower is clinical care. And those two buildings, there's a glass atrium that goes all the way up. Both sides are glass, so you have a clear view when you go into the lobby all the way to the roof of the building, and there's a bridge on every other floor that connects the two buildings. So researchers can talk to clinicians about what the researcher's doing and vice versa, so they can have a dialogue. They're right there under the same roof, which I think is very important. And we constructed that building with the help of Sam Skaggs and the family, and then with the Dumpke family. And we now have, we were ranked, I think, number 2. So number 2 in the country in eye research. But the building is important, but it's the people inside the building that really are doing the work. But I'm very proud of it, very proud of it. And I hope someday that we're going to be able to restore vision to people that are either going to lose it or already have lost their vision, just like the parable. That's my goal as far as eye research. I get very, very emotional about people that have eye diseases. And as I say, I don't wear glasses.
Question, John. In your experience, which was unique with the Republican Party, and looking at the politics in the country today, not speaking of parties, but of the political process, do you have thoughts about the country and where we are and what you would like to visualize happening out of all of this debris that we're accosted by every day?
Well, we talked about this a little bit in our breakfast meeting, Spence, and I'm very concerned about the direction, as many people are, that we have been going the last 5 to 10 years. And it's not just Obama. There are other issues that have come up. He particularly, though, is, in my view, off the charts. But I mentioned to Spence and to we had a small breakfast meeting this morning, and we were talking about different things, and I said that the country has lost the phrase that John F. Kennedy made in his remarks at his inauguration. And he said that ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And that scale has changed completely. Today it's what can you do for me, Uncle Sam? And that's what elected Obama, and I'm afraid it's getting to a point where people have lost their balance about, more. They want more services, more spending, more Social Security. And it's it's not heading in the right direction, and frankly, I'm glad I'm living when I am. We've got to do something about this gimme, gimme, gimme attitude, whether it's unions or anybody else that has this philosophy of, the government should do it for me, and we are going bankrupt, as you probably read from the headlines. It's just a matter of time. You can't continue to support the kind of debt that's being created today in this country. That's my concern. I don't know. Taylor may have some thoughts, or
I don't know that my thoughts are any deeper than yours. What would you tell students that are looking at careers in financial services today? What would your advice be?
I would say don't be afraid to chase your ambition. Maybe I know a lot of people have grown up in Utah and would like to stay in the area. It depends on what you want to do. There are plenty of careers in finance, in the corporate world. Plenty of careers available if you wanted to sell securities in regional offices of major brokerage houses. But Wall Street is where the action is. And I didn't know anybody when I went back to New York. My first residence was in the YMCA at 8th Avenue and 34th Street. But as my uncle said, if you know what you're doing, this is the easiest way in the world to make money. And I felt that, I thought to myself, well, if that's the case, I better go to Wall Street. And it worked out pretty well. But don't be afraid of taking a challenge.
There's so many questions that I could ask you about Wall Street and kind of the environment and the mood in the country. But specifically, I'd like to know if you agreed with the so-called bailouts of some large financial institutions, AIG and others, or orchestrated sales supported by government. If you agree with that, and if not, what do you think would have happened?
Well, I generally support. I think it was a good thing in certain instances. I think it may have gone a little bit further than it needed to. But AIG, I just grit my teeth when I think about what Wall Street firms did. And I'm not just talking about Wall Street, Countrywide Financial, creating these affordable housing mortgages, so to speak, and that was Barney Frank in Massachusetts and Maxine Waters in California. They wanted to create affordable housing for anybody, whether they had credit or not, and it went so far that you had people like Countrywide making loans they should have never made, and it just went on. And I think part of that bailout, in fact, they had to do something. There had to be money that would be pumped into the economy. What bothers me most, that Goldman Sachs I know very well. I do business with Goldman Sachs. But they were at the heart of this thing. And they've paid virtually a peanut vendor fine. They're not really persecuting the people that are responsible for this. I think this guy at Countrywide, Molina, or I can't remember his name, he was turning out mortgages right and left, whether you had a down payment or not, and it just got money. Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, that was a Democrat philosophy. They wanted everybody to have a home, and it just got out of control. But Goldman particularly, I think, cut off easy. Yes, sir.
So are you for or against